everyone. I'm Luis from LuisReviewer.com, and I'm here to welcome you to my new podcast episode of World of Entertainment. This is going to be a special one because I'm going to review two films. It won't follow the same format that I've been using. Just that I'm excited about the films that I saw this yesterday. And that's the main film I'm going to be talking about. But I also wanted to talk about the other film that I saw. I saw that on Thursday, and I'm gonna get into the titles briefly. Yesterday, for the first time since the pandemic, I went to a movie theater. I have to say that it felt good. Kind of like a little bit of normal or normalcy, and it felt great. It felt great to see a movie on the big screen again. It's not the same as watching it on the phone where you can stop and then finish it later. It's a different thing for me. So anyway, I'm gonna get right to the films. This is not gonna be a long episode. I don't even. It's gonna be on YouTube. I will see how I put it on the podcast also. The first film I want to talk about is kind of the film The Tomorrow War, and I've read like mixed reviews of it, but I decided to see it, to check it out. The film stars Chris Pratt, Yvonne Strahovski, and J.K. Simmons, and basically the story is about the world in a very distant future will be invaded by aliens, and in order to defeat the aliens, they're drafting people from the present to go to the future to help destroy the aliens. Kind of like recruiting, drafting for the army in the past and taking them to the future, which I thought was a cool concept because most of the films deal with the future coming back to the past to alter the future. So I felt that that was original, or not original. At least I have not seen as many films like that, or using the past to go to the future and change it. So that was I thought was a good concept. So the film I thought the film was good. I mean, I enjoyed it. I have to say I liked it. I think the story as a story, it's kind of like the typical science fiction disaster movie kind of thing, because you get the characters who are family creating bonds, and the disasters all around them. But I felt the story was good. I felt the characters were not forced. Like this kind of films always kind of force certain type of characters on you. I didn't feel that with this one. I think Chris Pratt is a great actor, and he has enough charisma to kind of make you enjoy his films, even when they're not as good as, take Jurassic Park. Those films are repetitive, but I think his performance makes it at least enjoyable if you're already in the theater watching the film. The aliens look amazing. I think they look cool. They looked ugly when they died, but they were menacing. They fought really great. So the design of the alien I thought was great. I thought the storylines were okay, but I don't, this kind of movie, I don't focus too much on the storyline. I just focus on the action and the entertainment factor, and I felt it was entertaining. It's a long film. It lasts a good 2 hours, I think. So in that sense, it's a little bit long, but I thought it was a good story, and I liked how the movie. Once the action starts, I think it flows very good. But J.K. Simmons also, I love. He's a great actor, and he adds a lot to this film. Just on the scenes he's at. So the movie is available on Amazon Prime. I thought it was a good movie, and it was very entertaining. But anyway, this like I said, this is not gonna be a very long episode, because all I wanted to do was talk about the movie I saw yesterday on the theater, and that movie was Black Widow. When it comes to Black Widow has been a character we have seen since Iron Man 2. So she's been a character that has been involved in almost uh, every film in the MCU. I mean, at least Iron Man, Captain America, she's been there. She has not been there in the Thor or the Hulk because Hulk came out before Iron Man 2. Um, so she's a character we all know, and I never read about her in the comics. So for me, it was all about finding it, getting to know her through the movies. And I have to say, I like the character. I think Scarlett Johansson does it really amazingly well, and I think she deserved this movie a long time ago. But there's a time for everything, it says so. Now was the moment. So I think she deserved this film long ago, but she got it now. And the film, I thought, okay, first the details. The film was directed by Kate Shortland, and it stars, of course, Scarlett, Florence Pugh, Raquel Weisz, William Hurt, and David Harbour. Okay, so what I thought about the movie. I thought the movie was very good. I have to say that I loved that it was action packed, and it had this spy. Of course, she was a spy, so it was different than other MCU films because of that. It felt more like a spy film, James Bond, kind of film done in a Marvel way. So I thought the action was really good. It was action packed right from the beginning, even though it had a few, quite a run of drama when the family reunites. But that didn't. I mean, it was good for the story, and the story was good enough that you kind of needed or wanted to go through those scenes. But the action, I mean, for me, they look great. I think. They were able to get a nice pace, and what I love about the film is that, contrary to a few of the latest Marvel movies, I like the balance between the comedy and the seriousness of the story, because they basically, yes, they had this character who was the butt of all jokes, like they did with Thor in Endgame. That was like the comedy scapegoat or something, which I enjoyed it, but I would have loved to see another kind of Thor on that film. And Ragnarok is not one of my favorite films because of that. They took Thor and put him into comedic mode, which worked. But Ragnarok is a great movie and has the best villain in the Thor trilogy. But that aspect of it, I didn't like it. But this one, it was tolerable. I mean, I think that character, if taken seriously, could have been a little bit more powerful, menacing, or more relevant. But it was okay. I mean, it was not a deal breaker in terms of ruining the film. And of course, I mean, Raquel Weisz, great actress. Florence, I loved her as Natasha's sister. So yeah, I think this movie ranks or should rank among Marvel's best films. I have to say that. I love that they still tied it to the films that we've seen. I've heard another guy who talks about films in his webpage, La Oficina Geek, and he said that he would have loved to see this movie right after Civil War, and I have to say I agree, because it explained a lot of things, and I'm not gonna say how or why, because I don't want to spoil it, but it would have been great. Obviously, it would have delayed Infinity and Endgame a little bit more, but I don't know. I think the movie, anyway, seeing it now, it makes no difference, because it stands on its own with a few tie-ins to the past films that we have seen from the MCU. Taskmaker is a great villain. I thought his scenes were great. I think they could have exploited him a little bit more, make the battles a little bit more intense or longer. But the scenes is that he was an amazing villain. I mean, I really liked it. I really, really, really loved the character and really loved seeing him on the screen. So anyway, I mean, Black Widow. I have to say, it was a great film. I was happy I came back to the theater to see it and not not pay the Disney Plus thing and see it on my phone. I think it was a very entertaining movie. Very Marvel. I think if you're a fan of Marvel, you will enjoy this one. I think it is good. It ranks among not my favorite, but among the best ones that Marvel has done. And it was a great way to say goodbye to Black Widow, because we all know that based on Endgame, unless it's something based on the past, Natasha Romanoff is no longer gonna get. She died in Endgame. That's not a spoiler. Endgame is an old film. So anyway, I want to thank you for watching or for listening to this special review of Black Widow and the Tomorrow War. Tomorrow War is exclusively on Amazon Prime. It's a very good film. It's entertaining. But if you haven't seen Black Widow and you are a fan of Marvel, I think it was a great film. I really enjoyed it. And see you next time.